Yo traders, what is going on? It is JB from FFT Trading, about to give you another masterclass in conquering the financial markets. And in today's episode, we are going to speak about how you're going to level up your trading from beginner to pro level. Now, we've got to be very, very diligent in what we're talking about. When we say professional traders, we're not talking about institutional traders. We're talking about elite level, really good retail traders. So let's just get that one thing clear. And if this is your first time on the channel, guys, this YouTube channel is awesome for anybody who wants to level up their trading in any capacity or any kind of level that their trading is currently at, whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediary, or whether you're a few years into the game and you want to find some tips and tricks on how you can improve your trading. Look no further. So we post here educational pieces, right, across loads of different topics. So go ahead and check those out in the channel. And if you like this kind of very chilled out vibe we've got going on, we're going to just speak and talk and yada yada yada. It's going to be awesome. So if this is the kind of content you want to see, drop a like, drop a comment. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Drop a subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that you want to look at, okay, are breakouts, right? Why are breakouts so important? Well, they obviously indicate some kind of shift or gain of momentum. But what I'm going to do in this video is simply show you the beginner level. Then I'm going to show you what the advanced level looks like. Okay, so keeping in mind breakouts, we can go to any time frame, but I'm going to just go ahead and use some general examples. Let me go ahead and go to the 1 hour time frame because it's going to be a little bit easier. So what a lot of people will do, let's look at Euro, for example. And whilst this isn't really a bad thing, I'm going to show you how you can go from beginner to elite level, right? What the beginner trader will do in a situation like this, okay, they will first want to wait for the breakout, right? They want to see price break out above, and then they say, yes, cool, now I got my confirmation. Let me go to my 5 minute, let me go to my 15 minute, let me go to my whatever time frame I use to get my trades, and let me go ahead and take those trades. Bish bash bosh, we got a nice little retest trade by there. Set our trade, something like that. Simple, and go for it. And that's well and good. We could probably get ourselves a nice little 1 to 3 just by doing that, but we want to basically see how we can go to professional level. Okay, let me show you what the professional, okay, let me show you what big boy JB does in the mornings. Okay, so obviously this is evening time, right? So me, I'm going to look at a situation like this, right? I can see uptrend, clear uptrend. What does price do in uptrends? Let me show you. Okay, we make higher highs, higher lows, we make higher highs, higher lows, and then we make higher highs, and we make higher lows, then we make, what is it? Higher highs. So did you guys catch what I was trying to teach you there? We're looking for the next higher high. So in my case, I'm not waiting for this breakout to happen. I want to catch the move before the breakout. So I'm going to simply say to myself, this could potentially be the higher low. In a situation like this, we've got two options. Okay, it's much more likely price will rise from here, but we don't really know that. We're going to put some guesswork together, play some probabilities. We've also got a few options that we can do as well. When we're looking at a whole process, we're looking at trends, and we want to basically say to ourselves, well, we can estimate the price is going to go up by here, but obviously it could go down. So we're going to basically put in our minds that price is likely to rise by here, but we also want to be careful in case price does want to go down by here. And if we are going to go bearish, what is the situation here? So I'm not really going to speak too much about processes, but I always like to drop these little golden nuggets for you guys. If you're trading trends, you don't always have to stick to the trend that you're following. Meaning, if you're in an uptrend, you don't have to take buys because we know that price retraces. So if we're seeing price go down, we have to just bear in mind that there's three things that could happen. Price will break down and form a potential higher low, in which you want to go ahead and take your trade, something like this, right? Find some kind of evidence that price is stalling, wait for the push and go ahead, okay? Or price may mess around before it does that. You might take a 1-2 loss, but it's okay. Price could go all the way back down to here, and then it'll make its push, or it's going to break lower and it's going to keep on going lower, or then it's going to break above, maybe hit a 4-hour level or whatever. But that's what you basically got to keep in mind. So we're looking at this, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what do we have? Well, we got a 1 hour uptrend. That's all I want to see. I don't care about 15 minute, 5 minute. I just see 1 hour uptrend. And what can I see by here? A clear support level. So I'm thinking to myself, where could I get a really good price to be able to buy and be in on a really banging move? So I will look at a situation like this. I can see that this is a very strong key level. This is where I'm going to put my stop loss behind. Why? Because price is clearly respecting this level. Now I'm going to go to the 1 minute time frame. I'm going to wait for that shift. Okay, I want to see that bullish shift. Okay, what do we have by here? Okay, price We open up, it breaks lower, and what do we have? I think that was news. That's okay. We've got a situation like this. I'm going to go ahead and go bang. I'm going to ignore the news. I'm going to say to myself, put my stop loss behind by there, and let's see what it does. We get a retest. Okay, fine. We get the entry, but we also get, hang on a minute. Bloody hell. Let's look at that again. That was very, very funky. All right, then. So we take a little stop loss by there. So now I can see that price is actually respecting this key level. That's great. So now that I can see that it's respecting this key level, maybe the reason why, maybe you guys don't know, but the reason why I ignored it in the first place is because typically in news, when we get these like long news wicks, price tends to sometimes really not care about them, right? Like it acts like it's not even there. So sometimes that happens. Fine, I took a 1-2 loss by there. Now I'm in line for a better opportunity. Okay, so guys, you're gonna have to piece together your own process. I'm just showing you mine, and I'm gonna say to myself, okay, I got the rejection, I got a little bounce. Let's put my stop loss above by there. Sorry, my entry above by there, stop loss behind by there. Do I get a push? Fantastic. And look, now what am I gonna target? I'm gonna wait for price to get above, and look, I ain't gonna set no target because it wants to do a bunch of madness. Bang bang bong, boom. There we go, and it's doing its thing. Okay, now that's the beginner going to the professional, catching the move before the breakout. So if you're looking at your breakouts, there are times where you kind of want to wait for that confirmation, but there's also times where you just want to, there's times where you just want to catch it beforehand because you can see the trend is very, very clear. Okay, now what's the next thing? How do we also go from beginner to pro in a different sense? Well, we look at our profits. Okay. Most people will set targets. Me, I like to let the market decide when is a very good profit. Now, a lot of you guys are going for 1-2s or 1-3s, which isn't bad at all. It's not bad at all. What I'm saying to you guys is that you can definitely do better because the market will give you a lot more than that. Trust me. And if you have a process where, for example, let's say we're just following the 5-minute trend. We just want to follow the 5-minute trend. In a situation like this, okay, you're cooking. Right? You would have been able to catch this whole thing, and sure, maybe you would have closed out at some point, and then you ask yourself, well, okay, we're following the trend. When do I actually close out my trades? Because if I'm following the trend, essentially I want to wait for this level to break, right? And then that level doesn't actually break. Do we get more pushes? And then we do. So fantastic. So, but then it's probably going to drop lower and lower and lower, and at some point you're going to want to take your profits out, right? So decide to you what's a really good amount. So for me, anything from like 1-6 and above is really good. I'm happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Sometimes I'll go against my own, like I don't really have rules in my trading. I got rules, but that's more so like logical things in my strategy. When it comes to taking out profits or anything like that, I kind of use my common sense, and I think if price is going to keep on pushing, then I'm going to keep on taking the money out. I'm going to keep on waiting for it to give me those signs. But if I can see it's pushed a significant amount, and I might think to myself, well, what's the likelihood? Okay, at this point, what's the likelihood of price reversing? Okay, now I'm looking at this whole thing. I'm thinking to myself, what's the likelihood? Okay, let's go to number 3. Okay, thinking in probabilities, basing your decisions, thinking in probabilities. Okay, basing your decisions off probability. Okay, statistical thinking. I look at a situation like this and think to myself, what's the likelihood of price keep on pushing and pushing and pushing? Okay, maybe I can see another green candle. I see a red candle, I think to myself, yo, just close out the trade, right? Especially because it's getting to evening time now. I want to go and sit down and chill with my family and relax. I don't really want to be trading, whatever. So thinking of probabilities is going to help you base your decisions. Sorry, my dogs are going mental because the bloody postman is here. Oh, sorry about this, guys. Let me just let them go on their barking spree. They're going mental. Okay, well, 2 seconds. Let me go try this out the show. Right, you. Oi. What are we going to do with our little bub kiss? With our bubs, huh? What are we going to do? Anyway, so yeah, thinking of probabilities is going to massively help you because you'll start to think to yourself, well, where is it more likely that what's more likely that price is going to move at certain places? And do you know what? That's actually a really good idea for a video I'll post. I'll basically put a video on what's the higher likelihood of certain things happening in the markets. Because how do you know that it's more likely that price is going to fall from here? Well, I'll quickly tell you. Price is pushed. What does price like to do sometimes? Okay, it doesn't always keep on pushing. Okay, it's going to retrace at some point. So when you see a wick rejection like this, or when you actually just see price has pushed for a significant amount of time, then you think to yourself, well, it's probably going to retrace. So you can take out some profits. Okay. Another thing that you can do to level up your game is to notice the condition of the market and act accordingly. Okay. So a lot of you guys have strategies and you just trade that strategy, right? You don't look at the market. You don't think, how has it been moving recently? How has it been moving today? What's it look like? What's the difference between how can I trade differently in a consolidation and in a trending market? Well, when you look at a trending market, one thing that you can do, you think to yourself, well, price is likely to break levels, okay? It's likely to break above, break above, break above. And what you can also do is you can stack nice positions when you're trending, okay? You can be buying by here, you can be buying by there, and you basically want to keep on going. Whereas when you're in a consolidation, right? And I like to basically classify my consolidations in two different ways, okay? I've got what I call my minor consolidations, which is, I'll explain that in a little bit. So it's basically where you see a consolidation that just looks really simple, really clean. But then you have the major consolidations, which are when price does something like this. And you guys have probably seen this happen so much. And it just looks like an absolute war zone when price is just doing all this. You see what I'm saying? It's going all this, all that. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's going like this. You get me? You know, and it's just doing a whole bunch of madness before it actually comes down. It comes back up, comes back down by here. Okay, this is what I call a major consolidation. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's just like, you know, it's huge. And plus you also have consolidations inside the consolidation. So what you'll typically be doing in a situation like this is that you might be looking to trade at the major levels, or you maybe just want to trade in these when price reacts to like an intermediary level. You're not really going to be trading like a trend in a consolidation like this because it's just not very reliable. Whereas if you just have bish bash bosh going up and down, what you're going to be doing is buying and selling the crap out of these two levels. Like, that's simply it. So noticing the condition of the market on the day as well. Have you guys ever noticed how some days price just wants to trend and trend and trend and trend? Like, you look at the 5-minute time frame and all it wants to do is just go up and down. Like, it's just either going up or it's going down, and it seems to just not care about anything. Yeah, I love those days. Those days are the best days because if you're trading properly, you're making cash. Let's put it that way. You are making cash. Okay. So this is not one of those days. And you can basically see. So you can say to yourself, well, I can see the price is mucking about. It's looking a bit unclear. I put up my major level. I ain't trying to do a little dance in between. She's showing me that she wants to be left alone for a little bit, you know, because she's like, I misses the market, innit? Sometimes she's being lovely. Sometimes you're being fantastic. You're like, yo, babe, you're doing amazing. Keep on going, keep going. I love this mood. And sometimes she's not in a good mood. And what she's telling you is just leave me alone. Just leave me alone for a little bit. I'll sort myself out. You just don't react to me when I'm in this state. And a lot of you guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know, just leave them alone for a little bit. Then come back later, damn it. Come on. That's what it is. You got to treat the market like a lady, right? You got to know when to interact, when not interact. You know what I mean? You got to take the signs, bro. You got to take the clues. You got to be able to say, yo, she's feeling it today. She's feeling it. The other day, she's like, okay, she's not playing ball. Just forget it. Walk away. And then sometimes you got to take a different approach. You got to think to yourself, yo, hang on a minute. You know, maybe I got to be a little bit more chilled. Maybe I got a little bit more delicate. And sometimes you got to be a bit more aggressive. That's actually so true. The market, and not to sound sexist, ladies, right? Do you know what? But the market is like treating a lady. It's very, very true. I can't really say the same thing for the ladies out there. Is the market like treating your boyfriend? Don't really know. I don't think so. Because the reason I say this, obviously, ladies, you all know, you'll attest to this. You're a lot more complex than us men. We're very simple. Food, happy. Whereas ladies, they go around the back of the bush and they got to come back and give a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to stop talking before I start offending a whole bunch of people. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Cool. And I guess what's the last point that I want to mention? I guess knowing when to step back and when to go balls deep. Okay? You got to know when to step back and you got to know when to go balls deep. Like sometimes I'm going to see the nicest position. Like for me, bro, like It's very rare that I do this, but when I get that like platinum setup, when it's like once every month or once every few months that I'll get this particular condition and everything lines up, I swear I'll drop the biggest bomb on that mofo. It would have put Hiroshima and Nagasaki to shame. No, my goodness, what is with me today, bro? No, but come on, you know what I'm trying to say, bro. You're going to just go absolutely crazy with it. So, but there's other times where you know that the market's really not giving you what it wants to give. So you just got to know when to step back a little bit, right? So, if you guys can focus on these things, I promise you're going to be able to absolutely milk markets and really save yourself from a lot of losses. You know, these are just my personal opinions. I'm sure you guys are probably going to find out some awesome stuff when you go through your back testing or live testing. But I promise you guys, if you focus on some of these things and develop some stuff of your own, watch how your trading is going to improve, right? A big part about this professional trading that I talk about is, you know, when you move away from a beginner level to like a more elite level, what you are actually doing is, in my opinion, you're moving away from the basis of, I need to trade my plan because that's what I need to do. I've seen how I got to do X, Y, and Z when the market does X, Y, and Z. Do you see what I mean? You're very rule-based, you're very mechanical, which is fine. But then when you go to the more elite level, you have taken so much information from the markets. You know where the likelihood of things to go are. You know what makes sense. You know what's good. You know what's bad. You protect yourself. You're able to step it up when you need to. You just become more well-rounded. And I think that's what this whole thing is all about. You start to pick up on more things, such as taking the moves when the breakout happens, before the breakout happens, or knowing when to cash out your trades, knowing when to hold your trades. And, you know, think of it this way, guys. Your objective in trading is to make money. And you want to make as much money as possible, and you want to lose as little as possible. But you don't have a lot of control over a lot of things. But the one thing that you do have knowledge in is knowing where to spot where the high probabilities lie. You guys have got enough experience now to be able to say to yourself, well, in trends, if say, for example, in an uptrend, it's much more likely the price is going to move up than it is down, unless I get really strong evidence that it wants to go down. Okay, where's it going to go down? Is it going to go to this place? Is it going to go to that place? If the market's looking a bit crappy, you know when it's looking crappy. You know when you can just maybe reduce your risk a little bit. When it's looking really good, you know when to increase your risk a little bit. You know that, for example, it's much more likely when price is going to travel towards a key level, it's much more likely that it will reach that key level than just stopping randomly. And if it does stop randomly, you know what the reversal signals look like. And you can also think to yourself, am I more happy to take this to take up my profits right now, or do I want to hold? If I do want to hold, do I want to go break even? Do I want to set my stop loss to half? And you just think to yourself, what's the most logical thing? What's the most sensible thing? How can I protect myself? And if you're thinking from this space of, you know, experience, I guess, for those of you that are not so experienced, just take heed to what I'm saying and try and apply it as best you can. And the best piece of advice I could give you is to not, when you start to learn how to trade, you really want to just learn about the markets and actually see what happens. Do you know what I mean? You want to look at where's the, you know, look at trends, take all your theory, look at what's the highest probability of X thing happening. And if you need to, go and test out a bunch of stuff. Go and look at some data and see, okay, it's much more likely that this does this when this does this, and yada, yada, yada. I want to see correlation in my trades. I mean, that's one thing that I love to see in my trades is correlation. Everything lining up. 4 hour, 1 hour, 50 minute, 5 minute. I don't want to trade when this is this. It just makes sense for me. You got to make sure that it makes sense for you. So guys, that's it for me. If you focus on these things and you take heed to the little bit of advice I dropped at the end, I promise you'll do fantastically well. But don't be discouraged if you're taking losses or you're trying out what I'm telling you and it's kind of just not really working out as you thought it would. You've obviously got to make it work for yourself, but you've also got to give it time. Trust me, guys, you just have to give it time. I've spent a lot of time this year figuring a lot of these things out, and the past few years figuring these things out. So to get to that place, you got to go through your own learning. So have faith, have belief, guys. At the end of the day, strategies work, but it's us that makes it happen. We're the reasons why traders fail. 90% of traders fail. And there's a very big reason why, only 5 to 10% make money. And I'm telling you now, no matter what strategy you got, that's not the thing. It's you at the end of the day. So take heed to what I'm saying. I promise you guys, you will do fantastically well. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to drop the lo-fi track in the description. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care, stay safe in your trading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.